back to my channel. Today I have a mid-May message for all of the Libras out in the collective. Please note this is going to be a general reading, so it is not going to resonate with every single Libra out in the collective. I ask that you take with you what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are new to my channel, welcome to Eileen Into Spirit. My name is Eileen Rouse. I am a psychic intuitive, a spiritual coach, and a sound healing practitioner. So without further ado, Libra, let's go ahead and dive right into your mid-May message. So Libra, we are starting out with higher power, invocation with ceremony, and inner temple. Okay, so right off the bat, Libra, we're going to start at the heart of your reading, which is going to be invocation. This is truly about setting a practice, a spiritual practice where you set aside time throughout your day, creating a specific ritual where you create meditation time, prayer time. It's merely about you really tuning into that higher aspect of yourself and calling in spirit to be with you throughout the day. Now, many individuals who actually do invocations on a daily basis are actually calling in their guides, they're calling in their angels, their ancestors, to truly work with them, to be with them, to help guide them and provide them with information or guidance on their day. It's really about creating sacred ceremony between you and a higher aspect. Now, I do feel that this mid-May, it's really about you devoting time to your higher aspect, really tuning into your inner guidance and your intuition, and allowing a higher power to provide you with the clarity that you ultimately are seeking. When we look at inner temple really speaks about tuning into our gut instincts, tuning into our sacred heart, devoting time to connect with a higher power so that you could truly identify the intuitive information that comes to you and utilize that information on a daily basis. Now, the higher power is really ultimately about your guides, your angels, and your higher self. What I love about higher power is that its number is a number 4, which is really about foundations. So I really feel that this mid-month, it's really about you developing a sense of foundation and stability in creating devotional time for you to actually connect with spirit, connect with your higher self, whatever that might be. You know, for you, it could simply be just lighting a candle when you pray. For others of you, it might be, setting aside time so that you can do a meditation every single day. Others of you, it might actually be reading. It could be so many different things, but it's really about you devoting time to yourself so that you can connect with higher aspects of yourself. So let's go ahead and dive into the tarot here, Libra, and see what additional information Spirit has for you this mid-month. Now, I do feel that with this inner temple, it's really about you being more aware of the things, the situations, maybe people, maybe certain habits or patterns that you specifically have developed that sort of take away from you tuning into that higher aspect. If that is the case, that it's something that you're needing to be aware of and you're needing to cut out. So we're starting off with the Queen of Swords and the Hangman. So the Queen of Swords is really that energy where you're very focused and detailed on the things that you are wanting to accomplish this month. The important thing here is that the Queen of Swords makes intelligent choices. She doesn't make her decisions or her choices based off of how she feels in the current situation. She actually makes intellectual decisions because she does it because she's looking at a higher perspective. It's almost like she's looking at the bigger picture. The Hangman is really about developing a sense of surrender. So it's almost as if what you're needing to ultimately do here, Libra, is allow things to be what they are and try to see the bigger picture. Try to connect with that higher aspect of yourself when you are going through certain things, whether that be, new relationships or building a better foundation in a relationship. But it's really about surrendering the outcome. It's about not really trying to force something to happen in a specific way that you want it to happen, but truly seeing it from a higher point of view and recognizing that the reason things transpire the way that they do is for a specific reason. We now move on to the King of Pentacles with the Magician. Okay, so the King of Pentacles is an energy about, you know, utilizing all of your assets. If Libra, you are an air sign, so this truly means that you have a lot of intelligence, but you also have this ability to be able to connect to higher power, to connect to the unseen that most people wouldn't really connect to. But I think you do it in a very practical way because the King of Pentacles is very practical. The Magician is really about utilizing your assets, utilizing your strengths, the things that you are the most, you know, comfortable in, but also that you do very well. It's utilizing those resources to create the things that you ultimately want to create. So it's about setting great intentions. It's about being practical about the things that you are wanting to create, and then looking at it from a higher perspective and asking yourself, how can I get from point A to point B without truly trying to attach myself to it turning out the way I want it to turn out? Because in this aspect, you are recognizing that there is still something to be gained. There is still something to be learned in every situation, in every circumstance that you come across. We now have the Ten of Swords with the High Priestess. So right off the bat here, Libra, I can tell you that this is you needing to break away from old habits, old patterns that ultimately are not going to help you in achieving the things that you are wanting to achieve. The High Priestess is really about owning this spiritual side of yourself and connecting with that side of yourself and recognizing that you are just as much a part of that as it is a part of you. And it's understanding that the old ways of doing things are no longer serving you. So you're needing to sort of let those go. So if you tend to have a habit where you make very rash and emotional decisions without trying to see things from a different perspective, that's something that you're needing to curtail. It's something that you're really needing to sort of pull back on, because ultimately what you're needing to do is see the bigger picture. Recognize that even though the situation isn't unfolding the way that you ideally would like it to unfold, it doesn't mean that you're not learning anything or that you're not achieving anything, because you actually are creating. So it's almost as if, because I know Libra, you're the type of person, your personality and your trait and your characteristics are really about finding balance in everything. And the important thing for you here is that when things don't feel like they're balanced, it tends to create a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress in you, because you're ultimately wanting things to just feel stable. You're wanting them to feel solid. And the idea and the concept here, because when I see the Hangman with the High Priestess, the concept here is that you have to trust in the process. You have to trust that even though it might not look like it's stable, it might not look like it's, you know, panning out the way that you want it to, you have to trust your gut instincts, trust a higher power, trust that you're being led down the right path, because it's going to work out in your favor, right? So this is really about you needing to learn to let go control and trust that what is transpiring for your highest good and the highest good of all, and that it isn't like falling apart. Okay, so we're now moving on to Death and the Six of Wands. Okay, so here right off the bat, the Death card is really about being aware of the things that we are often tempted to do. And I think in this perspective, because the Death card is under the Queen of Swords, I feel that the one temptation that you often have is that you react emotionally. You make emotional decisions instead of thinking about it rationally, or to sort of taking a step back and seeing the bigger picture. I feel that when you can surrender the tendencies that you have to make rash decisions, I feel that you will be able to see and to witness and experience right off the bat how successful and how easy things will sort of unfold for you when you let go, when you just allow things to just sort of naturally fall into place or occur the way that they're meant to occur. We now have the 8 of Wands with the 9 of Wands. Okay, this is consecutive energy, moving fluidly and very rapidly. The 8 of Wands is about fast energy. And I feel for you here, Libra, you have a tendency, again, to make very rash decisions. You don't think things through. And that can often sort of push you back. It sort of pulls you back into old habits, old patterns, back into temptation, where you make poor choices. And that often makes you feel restricted. It actually wears you out. It frustrates you. It creates a lot of anxiety. And I think that it makes more work than is necessary. I think you need to recognize what your strengths are. And when you can recognize what your strengths are, I think you can become more aware of where your weaknesses are so that you could then utilize your strengths to the best of your ability to prevent yourself from feeling like you're failing in some way, okay? Because you aren't going to fail here. I just think that you need to be more aware here, Libra, of how resourceful you actually are and how much is actually at your disposal to be utilized, so that you could have the things that you ultimately want to have. I think that, the 9 of Wands really speaks about being able to step outside of your comfort zone and make different choices, sort of choose different things, being able to experience something new, recognize that you've reached your limit, right? So now you have to see beyond your limit. You have to see beyond your comfort zone. You have to step outside of the box in order to experience something new. And this is what you're needing to do. You now have the Hangman again with the 10 of Materials, which is the 10 of Pentacles. So what is the Hangman ultimately really trying to tell you here, Libra? I feel that ultimately the Hangman is really trying to get you to understand that your greatest asset is learning to let go and sort of see things from a different perspective. The one thing you need to know about the Hangman is that the Hangman intentionally puts himself in the upside down position because he wants to see things from a different perspective. It's sort of like taking a pause, reflecting, and really asking yourself, what is it that I'm not seeing, right? And so when you can actually sort of reflect and sort of pause for a moment and see things from a different perspective, maybe look at things from a different angle, or really say, well, what if, right? What if I do things different this time? What are you going to learn? What is it going to provide you? How is it going to benefit you? I think the biggest thing with the Hangman, it's really about utilizing your intuition, because your intuition is never going to lead you astray. And I feel that this is the reason why you have the higher power with invocation and inner temple, because it's really about you listening to your intuition, sort of waiting, sort of allowing yourself to surrender to the process so that you could then achieve the aha moment that you have been seeking, so that you could recognize this is exactly what it is I've been needing. Okay. I feel that the ultimate message here for you, this mid-May, Libra, is about, don't look at things as they're not falling in your favor. You need to use your time wisely. Everything that you experience teaches you something. What is it that you're learning? What is it that you needed to understand in any given situation and in any given relationship? So this month, it's really about listening to your guidance, listening to your gut instincts and your intuition, utilizing your time wisely, being very clear and recognizing your assets and utilizing those assets to the best of your ability so that you can start seeing the success, and then that success will multiply and grow. So Libra, this is your message this month. I want to thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time with your new message. Bye, guys.